Now I know why Venice is sinking. It is under the weight of Silvio Berlusconi's giant balls.
His sharp political satire is hated by the right and revered by the left.
Beck's not wrong. And if he was, you're not allowed to go on a show and tell him anyway.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be taking a look at the career of Jon Stewart.
If you kindly take your seats, this will be over quite quickly.
Jonathan Stewart Leibowitz was born November 28, 1962 in New York City and was raised in New Jersey. Stewart's rocky childhood was worsened by his parents' divorce and by the bullying he endured from classmates who mocked his Jewish roots. He used his wisecracking skills to combat this ridicule and soon discovered his comedic talent. After earning a psychology degree in 1984, Stewart worked a variety of odd jobs. He was a busboy and a bartender, performed puppet shows for disabled children, and even worked for the New Jersey Department of Human Services. In 1986, he finally decided to use his natural abilities as a comedian. He moved to New York City to give stand-up a try. He began performing in local clubs under the stage name Jon Stewart. While he initially struggled with late-night billing and empty venues, he earned a spot as a regular at the Comedy Cellar and used this time to perfect his style and delivery. By 1989, he became a writer for the television program Caroline's Comedy Hour. It wasn't long before he began co-hosting Comedy Central's short attention span theater, as well as MTV's You Wrote It, You Watch It. In 1993, Stewart was up against some comedy stalwarts to replace David Letterman on his late-night NBC show. He ultimately lost to former Saturday Night Live and Simpsons writer Conan O'Brien, but that didn't slow down his career. Instead, he began developing the interview-based variety series The Jon Stewart Show for MTV. It was an instant hit, and it soon became an hour-long late-night program that replaced the Arsenio Hall Show. However, ratings dropped when the series was moved to compete with other late-night talk shows, and it was canceled after just 2 years. Stewart then turned his attention to acting in feature films. He played the romantic lead in both Playing by Heart and Wishful Thinking, and portrayed an alien-possessed professor in the horror film The Faculty. He finally returned to comedy in Half-Baked and Big Daddy.
I was so hammered. Chicken wings and Molson 3-0. You know, Canadian beers like moonshine.
Hell yes.
Throughout the 90s, Stewart also had an HBO comedy special and began guest hosting on The Late Late Show with Tom Snyder. His success there foreshadowed what came next in his career.
This is The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, the most important television program ever.
In 1999, Stewart replaced Craig Kilborn as host of The Daily Show on Comedy Central. He revamped the series to address news and politics with sarcastic humor, acerbic satire, and quick dialogue.
So the president doesn't read the papers. The only real information he gets from his loyal aides. And even when he goes to a town hall meeting to meet the people, they've been pre-selected. Our president's living in the Truman Show.
Stewart himself was known for slinging cutting remarks and the rare bad impersonation from his anchor chair.
No, seriously, that guy. Seriously, I mean it. I'm not kidding.
And this helped him win countless Emmy Awards for his work as writer and producer. The show even earned Peabody Awards for its coverage of presidential elections, and these proved to be defining moments in its history. In 2004, Stewart made headlines for his high-profile criticism of news television. In fact, Stewart's disparaging appearance on CNN's Crossfire led to its cancellation a few months later.
You're accusing us of partisan hackery?
Absolutely.
You've got to be kidding, man.
You're
He comes
on
out and you literally say...
CNN. The show that leads into me is puppets making crank phone calls.
The Daily Show's reputation as a legitimate news source only solidified over the years as Stewart developed his skills as an interviewer.
I was going to read this in the bathroom,
and it was...
By the time I had my underwear down, it was over.
Thank you very much. And this book is still a real piece of
While the series lost some big-name talent like Rob Corddry, Stephen Colbert, Steve Carell, and Ed Helms, Stewart continued asking the pointed questions mainstream media tended to avoid.
My question would be, if you know what we know now about the weapons of mass destruction, do you think the American people would have allowed us to go to war? Because I think that is the essence of the question.
In 2008, he and his pals used comedy to their advantage to emerge from the Writers Guild of America strike relatively unscathed. Stewart, Stephen Colbert, and Conan O'Brien staged a mock battle to help keep ratings up, and it worked. Despite his busy schedule with The Daily Show, Stewart managed to continue appearing in Hollywood films and helped pen several best-selling satirical books, including America the Book, A Citizen's Guide to Democracy in Action, and Earth, A Visitor's Guide to the Human Race. He also hosted both the Grammy and the Academy Award ceremonies more than once. Through his efforts on The Daily Show, Jon Stewart has helped shape political satire as we know it. He continues to deliver thought-provoking entertainment with his unique brand of comedy to his many fans around the globe.
Get your message to what you believe, and the audience that appeals to will follow.